Hello, it's Tamara Hunter, and it is 3 o'clock in the afternoon of Giving Tuesday, and we are healing through nature, and we have our guests today, some of my dear friends that are making such a difference in an area that is so absolutely important. So great to see you, my dear David.
Hello.
A while.
Love you, T. I haven't talked to you in so long. It's such a pleasure to see you. Love you, T.
Oh, it's like old home week. I just feel like
Swampy,
the family's come home.
Hey, bro. How you doing, buddy? Rough?
Good.
Okay.
And let me introduce, okay, everybody, you know, in out there, we've got David. David Jones is someone I've known for a while, and he's got a nonprofit, and he is also, he's just this amazing brain that has created a patented program that is helping us with after meal, and that is something else we'll talk about. We talked about it in a Service Hero show.
We'll get into
also, what he's doing, he's got a little farm going on at his home. We got Swampy. Of course, Swampy is an acronym for a lot of really wonderful nature stuff that we'll go in there in a second, but he's also a secretary for Chemo Buddies for Life, and on our board. And then we have Ruth V. Mellor. She's Oracle, that she is healing through animals, and she also has a reserve, like a ranch in a sacred area in Utah, and she's doing some pretty incredible things. And what this discussion is to talk about, because I know that it's very important for us to be grounded, for us to be able to be healing through nature, and we're going to be talking about that. But before we do, we're in the home stretch, and we are going to be we're going to be talking about raising funds for Chemo Buddies for Life, CB4L, because the reality of it is that we are really starting to bring in some momentum. We want to be able to, go into the evening with some good donations, because this is the day of giving. So with that said, welcome everyone.
I'm excited to meet you guys and learn more about all that you guys do. Because that's just near and dear to my heart, the nature side of the healing. It is, just like Tamara said, how do we get a ground in who we are and what we're trying to create, and the health of our bodies in all these different ways. So I'm excited, and I feel honored being in this group right now.
Yes. And so, Swampy is an acronym for soil, water, air,
animals.
Animals. Okay. M is mankind. Plants. And you. Okay. And you. Okay. I almost had it completely right. There we go. I'm getting there. Air qualifies. You need it.
Yes. Very important.
Farmer Jones. Hey, Farmer Jones.
Hey, guy. How's it going?
Good.
And then, David, you've been seriously into worms.
Sarah. I've been dealing with worms so long that I've actually became an expert in it and didn't realize that was my expertise. So now I'm turning to that, and I'm focusing on that a little bit alongside of all the other things we do out here on the farm. So my focus is going to be on worm farming, because we're looking to find as many worm farmers as we can, because these are the first people to nurture the soil. And that's where I'm headed with the benefits of the programs I'm implementing. we want to get our hands in the soil. We're looking for people that are environmentalists in nature and want to do something to make Earth again. So that's where we're going. And I'll tell you about the program. If you ask me some about it, I'll go off, but don't let me go off.
You absolutely. And, and that's one thing I just love about your passion is that your stuff. It's always so much fun. And that's why I actually put you and Swampy together a while ago because, and it's been a great teaming because you guys.
A lot. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I talked to this guy. We talked for hours, Tamara. We're in this. We have the same goal. We're going from this way and that way, but we have the same goal. So our hearts are in the right place, and we're good. I think we're a good team here.
I agree. And and Ruth, and I'm glad that you are here too, because the whole connection and what we're doing, of course, today is Giving Tuesday. And David, as well as I do, because Sherry shares it like in a major way. Giving Tuesday is such a big thing for the nonprofits. And so we really have made our mark on this day to say for Chemo Buddies for Life, this is our second annual, can you believe that? Second annual Giving Tuesday streaming live event. And we're going into the home stretch. And we are all about right now, we are going to make some cases for the fact that the earth
yes,
and the world needs us to be healthy. And we need the world to be healthy, for all of us to be healthy, because cancer is just, it's too prevalent. It's too rampant. And we can turn this around. And with some of the people that we were on with last night, Ruth and I, we were talking about this in different ways, but all around the same subject, in that wise choices, healthy choices, and being smart about those choices are going to make a difference within this community. And of course, I'm going to say it, Giving Tuesday is a day of giving. So $1 counts for $2 today through the Giving Fund. So if you have not yet gone to give and donate yet, CB4L.org, because $1, $5, or $5 million, every single dollar counts, and we're going to make it work for those people that are affected by cancer. So, Swampy, you're on our board, and you have an idea of really what we're doing, where we're going, and you joined us. Why is it that you decided? I mean, here you have truly a message that I love about nature and being healthy. Why is it that you decided to come and join us with Chemo Buddies for Life?
Hey, Tamara, thanks for letting me be on the show today. First off, thanks so much. We met together at a International Speaking Empire event in California. And my big thing was in 1995, I created a character called Swampy. Again, soils, waters, animals, mankind, plants, and you. I have a costume that I actually get in rollerblades, have swamp tunes, and animals. Okay. 94, I got within 500 feet of then Vice President Al Gore.
Woo!
The Secret Service jumped on my costume. True story. But I want to share with you the main connection I have with you, Tamara, and cancer. In 1997, I got hit by a 41-ton rock truck. It broke 3 of my 4 limbs. I had 7 surgeries. At that point, comparing my body to the planet, I had to deal using science what I was going through. Just like cancer invading the human body, I was in the same thing with the planet. I've loved the planet back in the 70s. Okay. We had John Denver. Okay. We had Rachel Carson. Just been a big follower of this. So my example is taking my auto accident, which I really was I had a lot of near-death experiences, a lot of things, and then seeing also cancer friends. Okay. who were really having challenges like I did, and the importance of connecting. And that's what we're really talking about today, connecting as buddies, supporting one another. Tamara, you guys are family. I can't believe all the folks, the Next Impactor, et cetera, you guys have great causes. I just want to share and teamwork with you guys. And I'm glad to be secretary of Chemo Buddies for Life.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
So neat. And I love that you're bringing the planet in with it, because the planet supports us, right? Now, how do we get to support the planet as well? And how do we get to be a family and support each other as we're going through our transitions and the losses and the creations and the pains and all of the developments of that, right? I love how you associated that, because it really is of a huge whole, right? A huge whole.
Yeah. Ruth, next year is going to be Earth Day, April 22nd. My big thing next year is going to be # race to save a planet.
Ooh.
I'm big on Twitter. That's where my following is. But
okay.
Kudos to Tamara. You have a great heart, and nice meeting you, Ruth, as well.
Thanks. So yeah, we have actually a worm farm just down the road from my place. And it was interesting because when the family started it up, they had a huge shed and we were all wondering what they were doing, right? And as they started developing it more, I guess they had grants for their work as well. And once he started doing that, it was like he kind of got teased for a little bit, but then all of a sudden the whole thought of it shifted, and they were like, it was like, wow, this is really interesting how this is happening. And so I got to see that literally just down the road, like the whole movement of the, from the beginning to through it. And it was really interesting that the government was even part of supporting that.
Oh, you're talking.
Now you're talking, huh, David?
Yeah. First, is my turn to talk?
Yes, it's your turn to talk.
I can't wait. First of all, me and Tamara, we go back a year and a half or so. But the first time,
longer than that, actually.
In the mastermind. Okay. The first time I heard Tamara, she picked up her pen and she started writing. And I said to myself, this young lady, there's something about her mission. She's moving people. I wrote up an article on you, Tamara. I don't know if you remember. I still have it. It was one of the first articles I wrote up on anybody, and I gave you props for the emotion, for the drive, for the compassion that you felt with your project. Chemo Buddy for Life has been your passion, and I remember some of our friends that are no longer with us. We all joined in on, because you were so passionate about it that we learned from you. So just to point out that our missions are the same. You're looking at it from a point of view of befriending the people that have these atrocities that are striking their bodies. I'm looking at it, and Swampy is looking at it from a point of view of the cause and effect. I look at it as the earth being the mother, and whatever we put into that soil is what we're going to get out. I look at things that garbage is doing to us and the mixing of them in the black liner bag, and that they spill out onto the earth. I think these are the causes of some of the issues that you're chasing. So we're chasing we have the same goal. We're going at it at different angles, and that's good. That's why I keep listening to you. That's why I'm so, I'm so stuck on you, Tamara, because, you're bringing all of our missions together. You're bringing all of our stories.
Yes.
You're doing something very special, Tamara. I just hope that I can grow up to be just like you.
oh no, you're talking. This is a man that successful technology, patents, and you keep going. And so thank you very much. You make me feel good, David.
Oh no, you're doing it. I'm gonna meet you one day. I'm gonna be on that yacht when you go to Hawaii.
And thank you guys, because I wanted to not let this 36 hours go without really pulling it all together, because we all know that there's an epidemic going on with cancer. Absolutely. There's just no other way of being able to say it other than too many people are hearing those 3 words,
Right.
and it's affected everyone one way or another. One way or another. I can't get up on that stage and ask those 2 questions without everybody in the room standing.
I ask a question when I'm in front of kids. I teach K-12 students about the after meal and about the things that should be in the black liner bag. And I start off and I ask them, how many of you guys know somebody that's got cancer? You know, half the kids raise their hand. And
Wow.
that nobody's affected by cancer. So, you know, we're on the same mission. We're just, all of us are going at it. And if we meet somewhere.
Well, that's why you're here. That's why you're here, because, you know, it's because we need to realize that within the community that we're building within Chemo Buddies for Life. Yes, Chemo Buddies for Life is, we're building the Buddies Network. We're building buddies. We're doing all of that, but there's an educational component, and that's what we were doing through the evening. Is we were sharing certain information that is going to be helpful with healing, because that's the theme of this whole event: healing through. And we can't be healing through cancer if we don't think about having a healthy world to be healing on. I mean, truthfully, we've got to be thinking about these things, and without getting too, you know, because this is a discussion, and with you guys, I know who you are and what your backgrounds are. I know you all, and so I know we could make a whole summit out of this. You know, I know it. So, and this is only a few minutes. However, with that said, I want to give bite-sized pieces to everybody out there that there is a solution, that there are ways of being able to do this, and it doesn't have to be, it's like kicking the power of cancer to the curb and getting through it. It's the same thing. Your worms, David, Swampy, saving the swamplands, Ruth, being able to use the animals to be able to unblock things. We have some simple solutions here that don't have to seem so big, right? Yet,
science is
right.
It's connection.
Through connection.
I would like to speak up just a minute, because Ruth, I'd like to find out who the worm farmers that you're talking about. My mission is to make Earth great again. And the way I'm going to do that is by enlisting an army of worm farmers. So what we're trying to do is find as many people that are environmentalists and want to do this. What we have, our solution is we're teaming up with restaurants. We have Starbucks, Cost You Less groceries that separate their, what we call wrap, waste recyclables, as a product. So we take these wraps, eggshells in one basket, coffee, bread in one basket. We call it after meal coffee, after meal eggs. So we collect this stuff from the restaurants and we feed it to our worms, and we get all kinds of products from that. Worms, worm castings, all things that are beneficial. The soil, it captures, it contains more CO2 than trees. So building the soil is a beneficial thing. And educating people as to what we are putting into the soil is even more beneficial. What Tamara's, the after effects of the soil is what Tamara's talking about. The effects of bad food is causing these things that she's doing it very well. She's educating us. I'm trying to educate people from the point of the soil and getting that group of army of people together to benefit the soil and put the riches back into the world. That's where I'm fighting the same battle that Tamara. One way or the other, Chemo Buddies for Life and OMT Systems, we're going to come out on top, because we're.
And there's a lot more of us that are going to, I mean, there's so many, I mean, we got a lot of them are always saying, yes, 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 you know, like, you know, and they're all in for the summit I did. And I'm like, okay, give us some time. You know, 6 hours first. We've got Giving Tuesday, guys. I'm very focused. Giving Tuesday, we are going to be, finishing today and making sure that we're getting the donations, because this is what we're here for. However, with that said, we've got, I really do believe that bring us all together in the community piece of teaching, because what teaching does is it empowers us, and when we feel empowered, we want to be able to heal and whatever that, people with cancer, the thing about it is that there's all sorts of different types, and it could be that the cancer that someone has could be environmental.
Right.
It could be that it was because they were exposed to something environmentally. We have to be sensitive to that. It is a variety of different types, and so we're not leaving anybody out in all of this. We're saying we understand you. You are our community. We're raising funds for this. We are going through and going forward in this, and being able to say, okay, as we build the beta site and bring it out, we're going to be able to have different subject matter experts to come and teach the community, help the community. This is a nonprofit, and in that there's that connection. It's just like Swampy. Hasn't it been pretty incredible, the people that we've been working with in the leadership team?
It really is. I didn't know what I was getting into. And again, Tamara, I'm like you with an organization reaching out. It's been so enlightening, because I had lots of followers on LinkedIn, Twitter followers, but I didn't have folks that were connecting. And, yourself, the Bald Avenger, just really powerful people. I was able to attend Chicago for the next Impactor, but I was just, once you get into it, it's a great thing. So I just want to contribute to everybody else, not just the buddies, not just contributing, but just becoming a part of a cause, connecting with us. And
okay, I just got it. Okay. Time out. Hello.
They can't hear you.
Guys.
Okay, hold on. Let's get it. They said hello.
Hello.
Hello from Swampy.
So who do we have here?
What's going on? And for whatever reason, you guys drew the little ones in. And you guys are little ones. They help
They
all
are the reason.
This kids draw pictures for Swampy.
Ah,
I love it.
You can draw pictures to Swampy.
They are
Love it.
after meal ambassadors.
And yeah, my brother there, Dave's into waste. One more thing I got to talk to you about on two different areas. Obviously, number one is climate change, but number two is our plastics in our oceans. And they had a killer whale that died the other day. It had just a huge amounts of plastics. We have got to become very serious about this. I know Jane Fonda and some other folks are stepping up. Leonardo DiCaprio. We got the Amazon to blaze. We need to take action now. And part of what Dave's doing with waste is in that area as well.
So, okay. So, and I appreciate this and talking about all of this, because, in truth, the plastics, we were talking about that last night, Ruth, when we were talking about some of the different, no, it was with Cheryl. Cheryl actually was talking about the plastics and the toxins, and we need to be using, different, like glass and all the different properties, and not the plastics, not all of those things, because what it's doing is it's making us sick.
Right.
What I really want to do here is say, okay, Skip.
Hey, Skip.
Yeah, I know. It's like old home week. Skip is in, and Marianne's here too, David.
Barbara.
And so I really want to do this. I want to be able to say here, because we've got a little over 30 minutes, not even that right now, between all of us, and that is in regards to raising funds for Chemo Buddies for Life, in raising buddies for Chemo Buddies for Life, because I am sure within your communities, Swampy, within your communities, David, and within yours, Ruth, you're talking the nature area, you're talking the animal areas. there are people that have been affected by cancer. I am sure that are in your network, and they need to become a buddy, and we need to be able to get this message out to them and let them know that we're going to help them. And then in that, we're going to help to educate the buddies to then start taking some control back. Because I'll tell you, when I went through my cancer, did we get quail in my, yeah, we got quail because they were supposed to be much better eggs. Mm-hmm. Did we do, raise up some boxes for our vegetables and have some, organic gardens of our own? Yes, we did. These are wise choices to make, and they don't have to be scary choices, and we can make it simple, and that's where also your messages, like David, what you're doing with when you were telling me that now you're getting the coffee from Starbucks and you're doing this and that, and and all of the technology that you've been working on to really get it, when like when you first started talking about it way back in the day, trying to figure it out, and then I started seeing it in my mind, and then I'm getting it, and then I'm watching you, and then you did bunnies. And I was like, oh, I can do the bunnies. I like them.
The animals have been here for years. I've been raising rabbits, the worms. I've been raising these guinea pigs, and then I just added goats and horses. And that's a work of love. That's a labor. But what my mission and my passion has been with this project I've been working, the same project that you're pretty much working on too. And so I find my passion in that. And, I've been working on that for about 30 years, that product that you're talking about, the water reclamation canister. And if I get that to market, man, it'd be a happy day. But, so the animals are holistic. I'm even thinking about trying to take some of them to the hospice people, the rabbits.
Yes.
So we have so many things that we can start.
Yes.
That's what I want to be talking about right now, because in truth, right now, you guys, you are my nature people. You are my people that, yes, I know that you've got some amazing things going on, and we can do another show where we'll do that in the Summit Girls, and we'll go more deep into it. And yes, I think we've got a lot of people that want to do a summit with you guys, because they're like, yeah, I'm yes, is what I'm hearing. Thank you. Oh, okay. You guys, you're dancing with us. Okay. We have Scott Barkley that has donated. Yes,
that's a Utah friend. That's from my group. Yeah.
Okay. And we have another one.
I love Scott.
Okay. Yes. Dance. Because this is really right now what we are doing, and when I went through my cancer, David, when I went through my cancer, and I was finally let out of my room after 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months, a year, whatever it was. And I was able to go. I remember being so excited just to be able to put my hands in the dirt and work with flowers and do something there, because it just was that grounding piece. It was something that I craved. And I'm not that much of an outdoors person, to be honest, because I'm allergic to the sun. And yet my body still craved it, because obviously it needed it. Obviously there was something to it to get back into, a healthy, place. And so when I think of, I keep keying into your bunnies. I know, but
Did you see the last videos? I got some babies.
Yes, I did. I follow the bunnies.
Place, but they're going to be ready around Christmas time. So that's pretty special.
Bunnies for Christmas.
Right. And when you talk about the healing power, and we're going to go into this, Ruth, that's why I brought you in with our two gentlemen here in the Healing Through Nature, because it's going to then segue. Now you get it, huh? Segue.
I do. You know what you're doing, woman. You're smart.
There you go. And because and I get the worm thing. I really do. Trust me, David, I do, because I think it's my dad and some of the others in my family that my dad especially, like he built those raised boxes for my vegetables, and yeah, he was dumping a ton of worms in there, because he wanted to aerate the soil and everything, right? And there's something to that. And I will ask you about this, because you were saying now that, what is this, a toilet full of worms?
Okay. That's just to back up my theory. Do you know that Bill Gates is bringing a $1 billion industry to India because their infrastructure is such that they just go out into the field and let themselves and release themselves. So Bill Gates has thought this new waterless toilet thing that runs on tiger worms. They're the same kind of composting worms that I'm using. So my mythology is not off. If Bill Gates is using it to save a nation, I'm in the same, hey.
Woo!
Hey.
Yeah. Oh, we got another donation. I'm
giving him another
Woo!
We're doing it. What we are trying to do is bring that same technology on an international basis. I call people up and I interest them in the worm farm, and I start a project. I get say 2,000 people to donate $1, and that's a $2,000 bonus. I take my technology, I teach people from here how to grow worms. Wherever you are, I can teach you how to grow worms wherever you stay. There are worms everywhere. You just got to know how to get them out of the ground and farm them and turn them into a business. So that's what we're doing with the worm. We can reach all over the nation and bring people together.
There you go. So
hey,
let
Ruth,
me ask you this. Yes, Swampy.
I got to tell you this story, Ruth.
Oh, I love stories. Especially, I'm giddy over the fact that you're telling me after your costumes story.
This is an actual true story. My girlfriend back in the day, we were a little bit angry with each other, and we went to the Louisville Zoo. And I like to draw. So I was drawing pictures of the animals. The first one, I had a lion roaring. Okay.
That's what you was mad about.
He's like, this is me.
So, walking around, still not talking. Okay. Then I come up to this one exhibit. Okay. And I look out, and I've got 3 llamas out there.
Yeah.
Within me, I'm like, I'm going to reach out, Ruth, to these animals. Okay. And I'm going to start waving. All right. So I started waving. The first one down, he came, looked up, and he started walking towards me. Right.
Okay.
Then the second one, and then the third one, and then a peacock came to the barrier. We had a crowd of people around it. Okay. So there. Okay. That's a true story.
I believe it. You're partying with animals.
And the moral of the story is, I still like bunnies.
They work for you. They work, and
I just want to say, because there is something to this whole grounding thing for those people that are affected by cancer. There is something to, and when you were saying that, David, that gets me, because now I understand why I've been keen into your bunnies when you said that they were thinking about maybe having you start going to the hospice. It's like, okay, because I kept keen into them every single time I saw your feed with those bunnies. I mean, seriously, I have been fixated on them, and I'm thinking hospice, bunnies, that makes sense. Yes. And because his bunnies are so cute. Oh my God.
You want to know an interesting thing about bunnies, and I know you know this because you're raising them, but this was something that I learned personally, but also later on. We had a couple bunnies in our house that we had as part of the family, right? but they are so soft. They're so cute. They can be so lovable, but they can be savage. Savage mean at the same time, like mean if they want to, and they are the cutest, lovable animals ever. But they can be so mean if they're taunted to that piece. So it makes sense, Tamara, why you're a fighter, right? Like you get stuff done, but you're so lovable. You're so everybody loves you. They're drawn to you. So it's like, you know, I get it. You're a buddy. I get it.
The floppy ears, you know, I'll work on it. I'll get one of the wigs out, okay?
I was just gonna say that. You can do the wig on that.
Yeah, that's from last night, guys. You know, you have to catch an older shoulder.
It was good. It was good.
Did you guys mind if I brought some snakes to the hospital? Is that
I'm bringing a snake next. I'm bringing my snakes. I travel all over the world doing healing work with the snakes.
That's when I started raising snakes, man. I lost so many friends. People just stopped coming around. That David, he's crazy. Ain't coming out there no more.
And this is where, you know, and Barbara, I'm glad that Barbara chimed in. She's like, this is good information because we've got a city girl from Chicago that, you know, she's a corporate woman. She runs, you know, she has big movement and everything. And what we are doing right now is that, you know, I was raised in the backwoods of San Diego County. I mean, yeah, it's not really the backwoods, but you know, it's the East County. It's as far as the one horse town as you could get in San Diego County, and so you know, I was raised where you had the dirt roads and you had to walk through the snow. Not really, but you know, it was that kind of a thing where it was as much as the back to nature as you could get. And I was taught to really respect that is a part of what we are, who we are. And we are losing that in the translation of healing through so many things. And that's what I wanted to bring that out to everybody, is that grounding ourselves into the dirt, something as simple as touching the dirt, something as, you know, and planting the vegetables. We've been talking about eating clean and doing that. And yes, worms do help with that, right? and then Swampy, you know, when I think about the swamplands, I did not respect them as much as I should have until I met you. And that's when I started realizing, okay, we got to save our swamplands if we want to save everything else.
The ecosystem, the balance of the ecosystem.
I mean, I keep things simple. And so that's the way I think, right? And so we need to just make this aware, because we're making this we're keeping this very, very kindergarten today in regards to what it is that we're doing as a panel when it comes to this, because guys, we've got the PhD guys, we've got the FEMA guys, we've got the I mean, that's the caliber of people we've got in this panel here right now. And so, you know, we've got the ones that know that's going on. So we're keeping it at a very low level, because I need my buddies that are in the thick of it right now to say, there's a reason for me to want to put my hands in the dirt to grow my vegetables. There's a reason that I want to touch a bunny that's not mad. There's a reason that I want to have, you know, some fresh items and whatever it may be. If it's a potted plant, it's a whatever it may be, but it's taking some control in their lives to say, I can do this for myself and I can feel good about it. Right?
Yeah. And I want to live. I want to live. I have a reason to live.
I want to live, and taking control of what you put into your body. You know, that's the biggest part of what Tamara, what you're talking about, the Chemo Buddies for Life. I mean, the combination of things that happen to get consumed in our bodies is really the thing that's putting this all down. Where you're coming from, Tamara, is, you know, we have
simple,
and it is simple. You know, there's rocket science that's going to fix this problem from it. The problem of garbage is going to be one that's handled by us. We have to we create, you know, we are the ones who make that problem, and it's a problem that can be handled. People say, "Oh, you're chasing garbage. You're never gonna." No. That's the wrong attitude. We must take an attitude of, we have to smoke. Only you can prevent this. We have to take that attitude.
Right.
And that's the way I go at it.
I'm gonna have to go get ready.
Yes, you go get ready. We are only about 13 minutes away from.
I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Yes, aren't they fun?
Yeah. Please chime in on mine because you guys are fun. Thank you, Tamara. I'll see you in just a minute. Okay.
I'll see you then, and I can't wait to see that snake. So, all right. So, what is it in just a few minutes each? What is it that if someone is let's say they're in the recovery stage now, they're not quite there, but they're on their way back, and they want to start feeling better, and they know that they've been disconnected from the nature, like myself. I knew I was. It was an interesting phenomenon for me, quite honestly.
Have you noticed that every time a person gets sick, what does the doctor recommend? He starts telling you to watch what you consume, watch your food. You have to watch your intake. There's always something on the intake that's causation for these cancers. So that's the only point I wanted to make about where you get ready to go, is that watching what we eat.
Right, and I've heard that now through this 36 hours. There has been a common thread, a common theme in regards to that, and that is, sugars. Be careful with that. Be careful with pesticides. Be careful with, if you can't grow your own, then the closest thing to farm that you can, and if not, then you go to organic. These are the things I've been hearing, and of course, my doctor knows my situation and that I can't go out in the sun. I'm allergic to it. And so, the vitamin D situation, you have to go in other ways of doing it. But, that was one of the things that my doctor was talking to my other buddy about, like, okay, are you getting your time in the sun that you need? Not a lot, but enough to get that download from, the vitamin D. So there are some things, simple things that we can be doing that can make a big difference. And if, do you believe, okay, this might be a longer conversation than I'm looking to have it be, but maybe not. In growing your own vegetables, do you have to go and get special seeds nowadays?
Seeds are very important, but the nutrition that you put on the plant, for example, a seed that's germinated in castings will grow 3 times faster and larger than a normal seed without worm castings. Worms are the most beneficial creature that God has placed on the earth. There are thousands and millions of decomposers. Anything that dies and falls back on the surface of the earth starts the decomposing process. There's only one insect, the worm, that outputs the essential elements that the plant needs to thrive and be healthy. Magnesium, potassium, zinc, lead. That's the output of what worms put into the soil. It's called castings.
Right,
So,
I remember that. I remember you talking about that.
Those are the most interesting things and beneficial things that a plant needs. If you start giving your plant that, you're going to get the beneficial food out of it that heals and not gives you so many of the cancers. Most of the foods that we eat today are processed. Even our animals eat processed foods. And do you know what's in our foods? Aspartame, MSG, all types of toxins that are not good for us, things that kill cells on contact. That's what's in our foods. And so when we throw these things away, we throw all of them into the black nylon bag. And I don't want to go into that again, but and all of these things fall onto the surface of the earth, and that's the problem. Contaminated with stuff. I'm not gonna go off, Tamara.
Thank you very much, David. I so appreciate you. And so, Swampy, our mission and you know, and I want to hear from you from your side of the chair, you know, from your expertise, because you have the education, you have the experience, you know what we're doing. What could you right now, what would be the thing that you would say would be the most important thing that you could possibly say to our buddies would be your, you know, pearls of wisdom?
Hey, Tamara, I'm glad you asked me that question because this is something that I haven't said yet, but I really wanted to. When I was growing up, in my mind, it was like a dog chasing its tail. I was always seeking something. Later on, I read a book by Eckhart Tolle called New Earth. At that point, I decided after 50 years later, they didn't teach me this in high school, to become present.
That's
In my
good.
own skin. And like you said, as far as walking, that's what I'm about. We mentioned, you said the dirt, but if you go to the ocean, just walking on the ocean, hearing the waters lapping, then you look down and see these little crabs walking, okay? And there's just quiet moments, okay, that bring us, because we go through a lot of emotional trauma, okay? And it's really, I think, as far as being at peace, no matter what happens, if we could find that peace and a way of looking forward. Let me tell you one other thing, Tamara. When I got hit by the 41-ton rock truck, I would tell somebody, okay, I'm not feeling well. By the time everybody else got anxious and everything else, and I felt good, you know what I mean? So what do you tell people as far as emotions and passions? So I'm sharing as far as the earth, again, the soils, plants, looking at animals, and youth. The thing I didn't mention is youth at the end of Swampy. And kids love to draw pictures of Swampy, and they will simply amaze you with regard to science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. So yeah, they're great.
Yeah, and thank you for that. And you know, presence, that is absolutely. And you know what? I have to say, that how genius of you to say that, because in truth, that's exactly it.
A minute.
Okay, and so, you know, as we start to round this up, you're the secretary of our board, and you know what we're doing, and you know what today is, Giving Tuesday. And if you were to, if you were to tell people why it is that you believe that if they're going to be donating dollars to a nonprofit, that this would be a valuable nonprofit for them to consider, what would you say?
I believe, having met everybody, we have a great feeling of doing the right thing, Tamara. And you are the epicenter in my book as far as shining that light, okay? And the main thing is, like we're talking about, being positive, listening, okay? It's one thing to be talking a lot. It's another thing to actually listen. So that's what we want to do, is communicate as buddies, and like you say, share everything. Like I'm saying, I have learned so much through you, Tamara and Chris, and again, Farmer Jones, and you take that all with you. So I want to become a community online, and we're taking this globally. We're going to include Vicky on this, and I'm just really excited. I'm with working with y'all. So the main thing is to be part of connected, passionate followers and leaders.
Correct.
It's what we're doing today is we are wrapping up this hour of healing through nature, and we're saying, you know, if this is resonating with you, and you know of anybody that's been affected by cancer, we want you to become a buddy. We want you to go to CB4L.org to be a buddy. If you want to work with our amazing team, we have some of the most incredibly talented, purpose-driven, heart-centered, funny, and just great people that you would want to have as friends that are involved in making this nonprofit go forward. You know, it's truly, people have been saying / you know, hashtag dream team You know,
Right.
I would totally agree. And that didn't come from me. That's been coming from others. And I agree. So if you would like to volunteer, we want you to come join us, because for us to grow, we are a volunteer-led organization. And if you're feeling a calling after this, nearly 30 something hours of content, and you're thinking, yeah, okay, I'm getting it. I'm feeling it. Yes, I'm there. Then go and volunteer. And if you at all are looking for a cause, a nonprofit to team with, because you've got a for-profit company and you've been looking for that right one. If you are someone that has been affected by cancer and you would like to honor someone and you would like to memorialize them, we would love for you to go and donate and tell us about that person. Mark that. If it's you and you want to honor yourself and say, yes, I did it, then honor yourself. We celebrate you in that. And if you're looking for just a good old tax write-off, we qualify there too. So, go and donate, because what we are doing, this is my secretary and this is my dear friend, and what we are doing is we are doing it with integrity. We have compliance officers up the kazoo, and we are doing it with the intention that one person matters.
Right.
One person matters, and a lot of ones will bring the world a program that is going to change the way cancer is done. We welcome you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, you guys. All right, so we've got a few seconds more, and I am just going to let each one of you have a minute and a half to say what it is that your pearl of wisdom is that you'd like to leave everybody with. David.
My mission is to change the way we think about waste. I'm here to profitize it, to make it worth something. It is worth something. So if we can profitize it, we can, commercialize it, we can chase the problem. The one thing, I wrote this book, it's called The After Meal. The one thing I wanted to get people to take away from the book was the fact that the main problem I see with what I call a non-point of pollution is garbage, and garbage, the contamination of it, mixing all of the things together, liquids, animal and vegetable waste together in one bag, is wrong. We've been taught for the last 90 years to collect our waste that way, and that is the wrong way. It is contaminating all of these natural resources that we've only used once, single item things, and we're throwing them away. We have to get away from contaminating everything. That's why I started this swap program to teach businesses the correct way to deal with their discharge. They teach us, and we work together with businesses, and that's the way we're going to solve the problem as I see it, by educating businesses to separate that waste, that it can become a profit, it becomes a product. So that's the way I'm attacking from my end.
Thank you. And then, okay, Swampy.
Real quick, my passion is Swampy to make an international character for clean water and wetlands like Smokey the Bear is for forests. Along the way, we have too many people that are impacted by cancer. And this is how you really get to know people, when you get involved with surrender and just being positive, just like you, Tamara, as far as just showing the love and passion in your heart. That's what it's all about. Let me tell you one thing. Dr. Wayne Dyer was a big fan of mine, and I'll never forget the question that he used me. Given the choice between right and kindness, choose kindness.
Mm-hmm.
We need kindness in our world, Tamara and Farmer.
I love it. I love it. You guys are amazing. Thank you for what you're doing for our world. I believe in each one of your missions. I do. And you know that. And I thank you for coming on here and being wonderful. You guys are wonderful. And you know,
For life. Woo!
yes, and donate.
I'm gonna show it you so long. Giving Tuesday, right on.
I got 100 out of 500, by the way, Tamara. I just want to share that with you, okay?
What's that?
I've earned 100 out of 500 today, so.
Okay. All right, guys. Woohoo! All right.
You, guys. Talk to you later,
All right.
King.
We'll see you guys later.
See
Bye.
See you, Tamara. Bye, Dave.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.